Good afternoon and welcome to the afternoon joint operational briefing. I welcome to the podium Miami-Dade County Mayor Daniela Levin Cava.
So here we are again at the end of day 12, and we're able to report that the search and rescue team has been able to search all sections of the grid on the collapse following the building demolition, now that the entire area is safe to search. And so the teams have now removed over 4.8 million pounds of concrete from the pile as they're searching through the evidentiary debris. The bad weather, unfortunately, has caused some temporary pauses of the work, specifically lightning, which, as you know, is not safe for conducting the search effort. It does force us to stop to protect the safety of our first responders. But through the team's ongoing search efforts today, we have recovered another victim. The number of confirmed deaths is now 28, with 26 identified, 191 accounted for, and 117 unaccounted for. And I want to remind everyone once again that our detectives are continuously auditing the list to verify all the reports of potentially missing people, and as a result, these numbers will likely shift. I'm in awe of the men and women of the USAR task force teams who've been continuing to brave dangerous and changing conditions for 12 days, fire, smoke, and now wind and torrential rain. They are continuing the mission and the search of the collapse area. They've worked under this great difficulty, and they have pulled shifts to rotate because that's how much they want to be out there searching. The first responders are the most frustrated by any delays we have experienced. Truly, they live to save lives. And they've pushed ahead no matter what is thrown in their way, and our community and the whole nation and world is forever grateful to them as we've watched them labor to save lives and find people. And as we're experiencing now the outer bands of Tropical Storm Elsa, we've seen this inclement weather and some tornado warnings across the county. So if you do not need to be out tonight, please try to stay home to avoid any potentially dangerous conditions on the roads. And I also want to remind our community that all county departments will be operating as normal tomorrow. I want to take a moment to thank all of you, the members of the media, for your own extraordinary efforts over these past 12 days. I know that reporting this tragedy and telling the stories of those who've been lost and those who are grieving is not easy for you either. I've spoken to you. I've seen it in your faces. I know that it's very, very personal for you. So on behalf of this community, we're deeply grateful for all of you. And especially, I want to mention the reporters at the Miami Herald and so many other journalists for the care and attention that they've given for telling the stories of these individual families and what they've gone through, the impact that it's had, and making sure that the world knows that they have lived lives that have now been lost, that we celebrate, that we remember. Thank you for helping to remind us of all of our shared humanity and making sure that these stories are not forgotten. Al final del día 12 podemos informar que hoy el equipo de búsqueda y rescate ha podido registrar todas las secciones del escombro, ahora que toda el área es segura para buscar después de la demolición. Y los equipos ahora han eliminado más de 4.8 millones de libras de concreto de la pila. Lamentablemente, el mal tiempo ha provocado algunas pausas temporales de trabajo, específicamente el rayo que nos obliga a detenernos por la seguridad de los socorristas. Gracias a los continuos esfuerzos de búsqueda del equipo hoy, hemos recuperado a otra víctima. El número de muertes confirmado ahora es 28, con 26 identificados, 191 contabilizados y 117 desaparecidas. A medida que experimentamos las bandas externas de la tormenta tropical Elsa, hemos visto inclemencias del tiempo y algunas advertencias de tornados en todo el condado. Si no necesita salir esta noche, por favor quedarse en casa para evitar condiciones potencialmente peligrosas en las carreteras. También quiero tomarme un momento para agradecerles a todos ustedes, los miembros de las noticias, por sus extraordinarios esfuerzos durante los últimos 12 días. Sé que informar sobre esta tragedia y contar las historias de los que están perdidos y los que están doliendo no es fácil. En nombre de esta comunidad, estamos profundamente agradecidos a los reporteros del Miami Herald y a tantos otros periodistas por el cuidado y la atención que han brindado para compartir las historias personales de todas las familias afectadas para asegurarse de que el mundo sepa sobre las vidas vividas y perdidos. Gracias por ayudarnos a recordarnos a todos nuestra unidad compartida y por asegurarse de que estas historias no se olvidan. Muchísimas gracias a todos y que tenga una buena noche y segura. Gracias.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. National Weather Service, Robert Moyeda.
Good evening. As the outer bands of Tropical Storm Elsa continue to affect our region, we'll continue to see these scattered showers and thunderstorms move through the area. They're not going to be continuous. They'll be rather intermittent, but we will see these showers and thunderstorms move rapidly across the area as we go through the nighttime hours tonight and also into tomorrow. And we do expect the weather to gradually improve starting tomorrow evening and back to our more typical summertime type weather by the middle of the week and by the end of the week. So we'll still have to watch out for some gusty winds with these passing showers and thunderstorms, and also some heavy rainfall, which could aggravate some of the flooding that's already going on out there as well. Mientras que las bandas exteriores de la tormenta tropical Elsa sigan moviéndose sobre el sur de la Florida, vamos a continuar viendo estos chubascos y tormentas eléctricas pasando de vez en cuando sobre nuestra zona, y estos chubascos van a ser acompañados por vientos fuertes y lluvias fuertes también, que provocarán inundaciones ya que están ocurriendo en nuestra zona, y esto va a ser para esta noche y también para el día de mañana martes. El tiempo debe de mejorar para mañana, empezando mañana por la tarde o mañana por la noche y continuando durante el resto de la semana. Gracias.
Thank you, Mr. Moyeda. Surfside Mayor Charles Burkett.
Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to share a few observations since our last discussion this morning regarding what's going on in Surfside. I've just come from the site and the afternoon family briefing. The site is busier and more active now than I've seen it since we began. There are, now that the damaged building is down, the site is staffed with a tremendous amount of search and rescue workers. The heavy equipment is now able to move around the site as needed. The looming threat of that building, the dangerous situation where debris could fall down, is now eliminated. So we're operating at 100% capacity, and I'm very excited about that. And I believe I sense that the families were too. Heavy equipment is now fully engaged and able to navigate over the entire site, where before they were very limited. Operations seem to be moving much faster and will continue 24 hours a day for the indefinite future until everybody's pulled out of that site. Lastly, the mayor said she was in awe. I join her in that awe. The Miami-Dade Fire Department, the Miami-Dade Police Department, our municipal police departments, all the volunteers, all the search and rescue workers, and all the support personnel have been absolutely fabulous. I've been out there all day long and usually late into the night, and I have not heard one complaint. As on the contrary, I've asked them what they need, and they've told me over and over again that they've been getting everything they need. They have tremendous support, and I want to thank the Dade County Mayor for all of that, because it comes from the top, and we've got great leadership, and that's what's causing this rescue attempt to pull all these people out of there to be so successful. Thank you, Mayor Cava.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Burkett. Miami-Dade Fire Rescue Chief Alan Kaminski.
Good evening. As stated, we continue in our search efforts, beginning operational period last night and continuing throughout. We've had 2 stops throughout the 2 operational periods. We have all 5 of the federal task force teams working throughout in rotations, as well as we're offsetting with a Florida Task Force 1 and Florida Task Force 2. We've definitely been able to now have access to all the grids. So we've been able to primarily focus on grid B1 and D1, which was the most difficult, being where they were and basically supporting the building. So definitely made progress in those areas in our delayering. Still, with our methods and how we go through, but definitely moving, full speed ahead in regards to that. Thanks.
Thank you, Chief. Representing the Small Business Administration, Roberto Maldonado.
Good evening, everyone. The U.S. Small Business Administration today announced that July the 6th will be an opening day for a Business Recovery Center, or BRC, in Miami-Dade County. This is to help the business community impacted by the Surfside collapse. The Business Recovery Center is located in the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity Mobile Unit, which is physically at 95th Street and Collins Avenue, in close proximity, to the Surfside Business District. It'll operate Monday through Saturday until further notice. The schedule is going to be Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and closed on Sundays. By the same token, our team has been, since June the 30th, operating at the Seaview Hotel in Bal Harbor, where we have met with families, friends, and some business owners to provide assistance. Our assistance is in the form of a federal disaster loans. These are loans that are helping the business community and individuals recover by whether it is physical damage and or economic injury, which is primarily what the business community is experiencing. We invite them to please visit sba.gov/disaster and become familiar with the program, the documentation required to submit an application, and because we are in hurricane season, how to be prepared. Y ahora en español. La Agencia para el Desarrollo de Pequeñas Empresas, o SBA por sus siglas en inglés, anunció que el 6 de julio estará abriendo un Centro de Recuperación Económica Empresarial, BRC por sus siglas en inglés. Esto es para asistir a los negocios afectados por el colapso estructural que ocurrió en Surfside. Este centro opera dentro de la unidad móvil del Departamento de Oportunidad Económica del Estado de la Florida, el cual está físicamente ubicado en la 95 calle y la avenida Collins, en esa intersección, justo en el medio del distrito comercial de Surfside. El centro operará de lunes a sábado hasta nuevo aviso. El horario realmente es de lunes a viernes de 8 de la mañana a 5 de la tarde, los sábados de 10 de la mañana a 2 de la tarde y cerrado los domingos. De igual forma, nuestro equipo ha estado operando desde el 30 de junio en el Centro de Asistencia para las Familias, ofreciendo aquella ayuda, aquella guía y aquella información que tanto las familias como los negocios necesitan para recuperarse. La ayuda que nosotros ofrecemos es a través de préstamos federales de desastre. Son préstamos de muy bajo interés y a largos plazos de plazos de pago para que ellos puedan reparar o reemplazar materiales físicos que han perdido o reponerse de el impacto económico que un desastre como este causa en la comunidad de negocios. Por ende, los invitamos a todos a que visiten sba.gov/desastre para que no solo se informen en torno al programa, sino que encuentren también el listado de documentos que necesitan para meter su aplicación y, más importante aún, puesto que estamos en la temporada de huracanes, para que nuestros negociantes sepan de cómo prepararse antes de una tormenta. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Maldonado, and I welcome to the podium our Creole translator, Leonel Letterbourg.
Mesdames, Messieurs, bonsoir. Nous arrivons dans la fin de journée, qui c'est 12e journée. Nous continuons avec recherche, avec sauvetage que nous faisons. Et pendant la journée, il était déjà démoli le building là. Ça permet que c'était encore plus sécuritaire pour nous être capables de continuer avec recherche. Pour le moment, il y a environ 48 millions de livres béton que nous avons relevés sur l'espace là. Et ça fait nous qu'on y a. Pendant la journée, nous avons la pluie, nous avons des éclairs, nous avons une pause qui était faite. Jeudi, malheureusement encore, nous avons trouvé un autre monde qui est décédé. Ça porte quantité pour nous, qu'on y a à 28 personnes qui sont décédés, 26 personnes qui ont déjà identifiés, 191 que nous connaissons, trouvé et que nous savons effectivement à vivre, 117 encore que nous pouvons joindre. Équipe nous continue en dépit de la pluie, cyclone, du feu à travail et nous très reconnaissants envers premiers secouristes qui continuent à travailler. Elsa dans zone non, pas oublier, si vous pas besoin sortir à soir, pas besoin de la rue, pas prendre la rue parce que la pluie est en pile. N'a dit en pile merci à l'équipe média qui est avec nous, équipe média qui porte nouvelles là tout partout dans le monde et dans nos communautés, m'a dit nous toutes merci.
Thank you, Mr. Laraborn. We will be back at Surfside tomorrow morning to hold our joint operational briefing. As soon as we have a confirmation on the time, we will provide that to you. We also have the director of the Miami-Dade Police Department here, along with our Deputy Incident Commander, Charles Cyril, to answer questions. Any questions? Ma'am.
Of course. Chief Kaminski, please. I don't know anything about architecture and rescue, so forgive me if this is clumsy, but my understanding is the way the building was taken down, it came down beautifully, it came when you wanted it. And there are possible beams there that would be holding up that area that might have provided an opportunity for you guys to build another tunnel that would gain access potentially to the master bedroom line. Is that true? Is that what you're finding? And is that where you guys are?
In regards to the building demolition from yesterday?
Yeah, and how you proceed today, and are you finding your way in the master
that's
bedroom
not
line?
our primary. We've searched that area several times. So our primary focus is the debris field that we've been focusing on all along. The concern was those search grids, B1, B2 is how we code it. They were supporting the actual building. And so that was one huge concern in regards to our personnel. And at any time, and obviously we had, constant monitoring, making sure that building didn't shift. We had that work stoppage at that one time because we did have a shift in a column, and so that was a huge concern for our first responders, our task force members. So no, now that we have access to that area, we continue, our search methods, still the same process with delayering and using, all the tools, all the assets that we have on site. And definitely now you see, since we're spread out, across the entire area, searching all grids, you see, the positive work production.
So you don't feel like you've tapped into a line where the bedrooms would be where a lot of people might have been at 1:30 in the morning?
We've definitely gridded in our rescue grids. Yes, absolutely. We kind of modeled and put everything together. So we definitely have areas of where we would suspect to search. As we mentioned all along, the issue is just the magnitude of this type of collapse. It's not the same format or same design you'd be looking at. So we definitely feel we have the regions. We've always felt that, and we've definitely all working with all the task force teams together and searching those areas.
Chief, what are the main concerns as the storm approaches to the search site? Are there concerns about the operation?
Yes, absolutely. The weather's a primary concern all along, the inclement weather. Obviously with the storm would be the lightning storms is a concern for us where we stop, and definitely the wind gusts. With all the debris and all the components, obviously, that could be scooped up, and our concern is protecting our personnel, and we don't, want anyone to be struck by any flying debris.
Para la alcaldesa, un poco referente a las respuestas que está dando el jefe de los bomberos, el momento en que se pueda parar esta operación, sabemos que pueden intensificarse el mal tiempo en las próximas horas, un poco cuándo pudieran parar si es necesario las operaciones por el mal tiempo.
Ellos están trabajando con la rapidez el rapidez. Están trabajando fuerte y las personas que necesitamos están allí y perdieron el tiempo con los relámpagos y si viene el viento van a tener que hacer también pausa, pero fuera de eso están siguiendo con todo el equipaje y los equipos.
Yeah. I guess this would be for the mayor. I just want to say, I know that Rachel's working to try to get some media access to the site as we continue to see photos from like elected officials. Is it possible for us to also get the journalists in there?
It's not safe, so we'll keep
Yes, it's not. I'm being told it's not safe right now, but we're continuing to pursue that because we think, if we can get you there, we would like to get you there.
If I can follow up, we are seeing photos from legislative aides that are back there taking photos. That's the access we would like as well.
We're going to continue to provide you footage, and we'll continue to see can we get you in there.
Thank you, folks. Have a nice evening. Be safe.
Thank you.